Al-IyamoyeTv Radio, Voice of the Voiceless.
It is essential to be up to date on happenings around you, and to make that easy for you, ladies and gentlemen, we present Freshlight, where we bring fresh newspaper headlines to the limelight. Mondays to Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Watch, like, subscribe, and make sure your notification is activated on our YouTube channel. You can also like and comment on our pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTV and radio.
It's a wet Tuesday, cool Tuesday morning, the 11th day in the month of July 2023. I'm sure while you're preparing to go to work, or you're already at work, make sure that you get yourself warm enough for the weather. Good morning to you once again, and welcome to Freshlight, a fresh episode right here on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio, where we peruse different newspapers this morning to keep you abreast and to keep you updated on different stories in our dailings this morning. So while you're getting to do whatever you're doing this morning, we are committed and we're ready to take you through different headlines and stories in the different newspapers this beautiful morning. All right, my name is Modupe Akinyosoye, and of course I have the Punch newspaper, I have the Nation newspaper, and I have the Vanguard newspaper this morning. All right, without further ado, because of the time, we'll kickstart with the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Let's see the front page, different headlines we have on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Okay, all right, this morning you get to see the biggest headline right here on the front page. Corruption's ugliest face was under Buhari, says Kuka. You get that with several, multiple writers on page 5 in the Vanguard newspaper. Away from that, you also get to see this, we can get to see this very headline. Federal government of Nigeria securities up 19.9% to 10.2 trillion naira as state declined 5%. Page 19 captures that very story. We won't pay compensation for illegal structures, Governor Eno warns. And page 12 graces that very story. Away from that, from the front page of the Vanguard, we can also see NECA to Tinubu. 2023 Finance Act needs complete reversal, not suspension. The details of that on page 8 in the Vanguard. Edo resident protests failed Auchi Igara Ibilo Road. You get that on page 6 in the Vanguard newspaper. Away from that, also from the front page, security operatives intercept vessel notorious for stealing Nigerian crude. You get that on page 9 in the Vanguard newspaper. Away from that, also, we have quite a number of headlines on the front page of the Vanguard. Presidential poll, APC already preparing for rerun, says Labour Party. Page 27 captures that very story. Anambra prepares for flood, trains 120 health workers. Page 11 captures also that story. And away from that, we have a sport headline right here that says, Man United close in on Onana to replace David. Page 31 captures that very story. Quickly going through the Vanguard newspaper this morning to give you a couple of stories from the Vanguard newspaper. Okay. We'll start with this very story from the Vanguard. Corruption ugliest face. Okay. Corruption ugliest face was under Buhari, says Kuka. The Bishop of Catholic Diocese of Sokoto, Matthew Azan Kuka, said yesterday, Nigeria's witnessed the worst phase of corruption under the last administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, and he also lamented that the fact that the country currently shared its sovereignty with bandits and terrorists in view of the pervasive insecurity in Nigeria. Akuka spoke as human rights lawyer Femi Falana, senior advocate of Nigeria, cautioned President Bola Ahmed Tinubu against sending wrong signals in his anti-corruption fight, stressing that some of those who have visited the presidential villa in recent times are currently being tried for looting. You get the rest of that in the Vanguard newspaper. Corruption's ugliest face was under Buhari, says Kuka. Away from that, we also have on presidential poll, APC already preparing for a run, says Labour Party. The national chairman of the Labour Party, Mr. Julius Abure, has urged members of the party to be alert following information available to him that the All Progressives Congress, APC, was already preparing for a possible rerun of the 2023 presidential election. And this, he explained, was because the ruling party was aware the tide was heavily tilted against it in the ongoing legal challenge to the presidential election result as declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. From the Vanguard, Labour Party revealing that on presidential poll, APC already preparing for rerun. Away from that, we also have taking us to Ondo State. Akeredolu extends medical leave, writes Ondo Assembly. Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State has written to the State House of Assembly requesting for an extension of his medical leave. The Speaker of the Assembly, Olamide Oladiji, confirmed the receipt of the letter in Akure, the state capital. Akeredolu said in the letter that the request was sequel to doctors' advice on the need for him to take adequate rest for after recuperating. Keredolu extends medical leave, writes Ondo Assembly. That's also captured in the Vanguard. Quickly taking this as well from the Vanguard. IPOB leader warned against issuing sit-at-home order in Southeast. Mr. James Ereboye, president, Concerned Nigeria Network, CNN in Diaspora, has advised the self-acclaimed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB leader Simon Ekpa, to desist from issuing sit-at-home order in the Southeast. And Ereboye, who is also the founder, reviewed Nigeria movement worldwide, gave the advice in an interview with the news agency of Nigeria on Tuesday in Abuja while reacting to insecurity developments in the Southeast caused by activities of members of the group. IPOB leader warned against issuing sit-at-home order in Southeast. The Vanguard newspaper captured that story. And away from the Vanguard, let's see what we have in the Punch newspaper this morning. Going through the Punch newspaper. From the front page of the Punch newspaper, you get to see the largest headline right here. Fuel smuggling persists in borders despite subsidy removal, says custom boss. You get out with double riders on page 2 in the Punch newspaper. It's illegal for National Assembly to fix members' pay. Obasanjo get to review that statement. Page 8 captures the details of that. EcoBank asks FBN to reject Otudeko's share acquisition. You get that on page 19 in the Punch newspaper. Tinubu can't appoint everybody minister, says Adamu. Page 30 captures that. Lagos Airport runway light stolen, 7 suspended. You get that Metro story on page 9 in the Punch newspaper. Fayose will pay for working against Atiku and PDP. And a NEC member revealing that. And page 18 captures the details of that very headline. NLC meets governors over fuel subsidy palliatives. You get out of page 8 in the Punch newspaper. And also you get to see this headline on the front page. PDP demands transparency as Akeredolu extends sick leave. That's also resurfacing in the Punch. Page 18 captures that. And also Lagos vigilantes torture colleague to death over phone. That rather unfortunate story. You get details on page 4 and 5 in the Punch newspaper. And Elebuibo charged Emir for stopping Isheshe festival. You get out of page 8 in the Punch newspaper. Also from the front page, you get to see the big picture right here, comprising the United States President Joe Biden, UK Secretary for Energy Security and Net Zero. You get to see them, Grant Sharps and Group Chairman, United Bank for Africa, UBA, and founder, the Tony Elumelu Foundation, Mr. Tony Elumelu, at the Climate Finance Mobilization Forum, comprising world leaders conveyed by President Biden and King Charles III to mobilize a new generation of catalytic capital in the fight against the climate change in Windsor Castle, London, on Monday. You get to see that, and of course you get to see the details of that in the Punch newspaper. Quickly going through the Punch newspaper this morning, we start with the fuel smuggling, and the headline here revealing that fuel smuggling persists in borders despite subsidy removal, says custom boss. We have double riders right here saying customs CG rejigs border patrol, others crack down on fuel smuggling cartels. NNPCL intercepts Cameroon-bound vessel laden with 800,000 liters stolen crude oil. The acting Controller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, on Monday vowed a heavy clampdown on oil thieves, insisting that a nation cannot afford to let saboteurs take over our economy. Adeniyi, who said there were still cases of smuggling of petroleum motor spirit, PMS, popularly called petrol, at Nigeria's border station despite the removal of subsidy on the commodity, said the agency had adopted new border patrol strategies to close in oil thieves. And he made a disclosure on the sidelines of a sensitization workshop on the Nigeria Customs Service Act 2023 for management staff of the NCS in Abuja. The rest of that in the Punch newspaper. You get to see with the headline, fuel smuggling persists in borders despite subsidy removal, says custom boss. Okay, away from that, we get to see this from the Metro page of the Punch newspaper. Lagos Airport runway light stolen, 7 suspended. Unknown persons have allegedly carted away the recently restored air feed lighting systems at the domestic runway 18/36L of Murtala Mohammed Airport. The Punch gathered that the disappearance of the approach lighting system had raised security concerns in Nigeria's busiest airport. According to a source who spoke on condition of anonymity, those who carted away the lighting systems took advantage of a closure of the runway for over 3 months. And the source alleged that some fan workers connived with outsiders to steal the airport lighting equipment. You get the rest of that from the Metro page of the Punch newspaper. Lagos Airport runway light stolen, 7 suspended. Away from that, you get to see this also from the Punch newspaper. Students no longer believe they can pass without cheating. Youth psychologists revealing that. A consultant clinical psychologist at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Idiaraba, and a senior lecturer at the Department of Psychiatry, College of Medicine, University of Lagos, Dr. Charles Ome, speaks with Lara Adejoro on how to deal with forgery in the country. You get the details of the interview right there in the Punch newspaper with the headline, students no longer believe they can pass without cheating, youth psychologists revealing. And quickly running it up with the Nation newspaper this morning. From the front page of the Nation newspaper, you get to see 800,000 liters vessel with stolen crude intercepted and destroyed. Page 4 captures that very story with double riders right there. And also from the front page of the Nation, so details of Lagos Abeokuta Expressway users. You get that on page 2 and 3 in the Nation newspaper. Away from that, United States waives export duty on cocoa. Page 7 captures that with a writer that says the economy gets boost. EcoBank writes First Bank over Otudeco. Page 4 captures that very story. Also from the front page, Tinubu targets 33 trillion naira revenue in 3 years. You also get that in the Nation newspaper. Court orders INEC to suspend Adamawa Rec prosecution. Page 5 captures that. Also, Obasanjo lashes lawmakers for fixing own pay. You also get the details of that in the Nation newspaper. Quickly, just giving you stories. Just running it up with the sports story from the Nation newspaper. You get to see under 21 Nations Volleyball Championship. Nigeria beats Ghana to lift trophy. Nigeria women's volleyball team recorded their second win over Ghana 3-0 to lift the women's trophy at the just concluded 2023 African Under-21 Nations Volleyball Championship Zone 3 in Niamey, Niger Republic, and Nigeria's coach Rakia Mohammed introduced the starting six: Kelechi Ndubaka, Aisha Abdurrahman, Miriam Ibrahim, Sarah Ali, Deborah Chuku, and Miriam Usman, which sent shivers to the spine of the Ghanaian team. The rest of that from the sports pages of the Nation newspaper, with the headline: Under-21 Nations Volleyball Championship, Nigeria beats Ghana to lift trophy. All right, that'll be all on Freshlight this morning on Al-IyamoyeTV and radio. Okay, before we round it up, let's quickly go on this short break. We'll be back to give you just a couple of headlines before we round it up this morning. Good morning.
Thousands have been disappointed severally in their bid to seek greener pasture abroad. To those quack in the traveling agency business, it is a rocket science. That is not our case at Tausaf Travels and Tour. We have in-depth details on how to successfully, without stress, help you process and secure your visa to anywhere in the world. Do you want permanent residential visa, visiting and tourism visa, student visa to places like Europe, America, Asia, Africa? It's no big deal to us at Tausaf and Tour. Our years of experience and expertise speaks volume for us. Let's process and secure visa for you to UK, USA, and Canada within a twinkle of an eye. We offer Hajj and Umrah services to our Muslim faithfuls. What are you waiting for? Consult us at number 9 Tausaf Central Mall, Sholanke Street, behind Laroy Hotel, Abiola Way, Abeokuta. 0802 733 0900 or 0806 578 4060. Stop wasting money. Pay for peace of mind. Talk to Tausaf Travels and Tour.
Thank you so much. Still Freshlight on Al-IyamoyeTV and radio, and of course still perusing pages of our newspapers this morning. Still with the Nation newspaper, we have this very report: 800,000 liters vessels with stolen crude intercepted and destroyed. The battle against oil theft has recorded a big gain with the interception and destruction of an 1,800,000 liters vessel laden with stolen crude. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, yesterday said its private security contractor, Tantita Security Services, intercepted the vessel. It said the vessel was destroyed. And Chief Communications Officer of the oil giant, Garbadin Mohammed, said in a statement that a vessel which was on its way to Cameroon was apprehended with its captain and crew members on board. From the Nation newspaper, quite unfortunate story in the country, Nigeria: 800,000 liters vessel with stolen crude intercepted and destroyed. And also from the Nation newspaper, we have Obasanjo lashes lawmakers for fixing own pay. With a rider, excuse 7 judges from election tribunal, says Afe Babalola. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo yesterday flayed lawmakers by determining their pay contrary to the constitutional provision that wages of public officers should be fixed by the Revenue Mobilization Fiscal and Allocation Commission, RMFAC. And also among the dignitaries, there were former head of state General Yakubu Gowon, erstwhile Secretary General of the Commonwealth Chief Emeka Anyoko, Chief Justice of Nigeria Olukayode Ariwola, Ekiti State Governor Biodun Oyebanji Oni of Ife, Obadiyeyo Ogunwusi, a former Secretary to the Government of Federation Yayale Hamet, and many senior advocates of Nigerian SANS and representatives of the University of London and King's College London were also at the occasion. You get the details of that in the Nation newspaper with the headline: Obasanjo lashes lawmakers for fixing own pay. And okay, we have this one as well from the Nation newspaper. Ensure 50-50 gender balance in your cabinet. Shoyinka Center tells Tinubu. The Chief Executive Officer of Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism, Motunrayo Alaka, has urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to implement the 50-50 gender balance in the appointment of his cabinet members. And Alaka spoke the Maiden Reporter Her Award, organized by Women Radio 91.7 FM in partnership with WSCIJ and sponsored by the United Nations Women and Canadian government at the weekend in Lagos. Reporter Awards acknowledges gender balanced reportage and celebrates media organizations and journalists who give prime time and space to women as their male counterparts. You get the details of that in the Nation newspaper. Ensure 50-50 gender balance in your cabinet, Shoyinka Center tells Tinubu. That'll be all on Freshlight this morning. Thank you so much. Of course, we still have lots and loads of program lined up for you. But do not forget to follow us on all our social media platforms if you have not done that, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTv and Radio. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Al-IyamoyeTv and Radio to get more of our videos right here on Al-IyamoyeTv and Radio. Thank you so much. I remain Modupe Akinyosoye. Good morning.